Scotty Hopson.
Richie.
All right. Okay. So really excited about this one today as well. Scotty Hopson. I've known you now for over 10 years. Um, and wearing different hats, huh? We've worn a lot of different hats.
A lot of hats, a lot of shirts, a lot of countries.
A lot of countries. So Scotty and I formed a great relationship when Scotty is co-founder of PTA Global, joined me and toured Europe, teaching and educating the PTA Global education in our Belgium clubs when I was working for Aspria, Germany and Italy. It was fun, huh?
Oh, you just got to mention those names, especially Italy. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was good. Actually, I'm actually just pulling this up here. I hope you can see this, but it's a photo there. Look,
Oh, look at those collars.
collars are up, collars are up. They were in back then. So, um, oh boy, a lot's happened since then, Scotty. A lot has happened. What are you doing now? Maybe we can start there.
Oh, well, obviously the last 3 years has been creating and launching Pivotal with my life partner, Queen, and best friend, Haley, globally. And so
Yeah.
from just about every continent, we deliver our live educational experiences. And there's a lot of them. So it could be pivotal-based education, which is our workshops, our mentorships, or it could be our partner education that we've either inspired, co-authored, or deliver, whether it's Exos, Grey Institute, PowerPlate, Precore, the list is pretty long. But they're brands that are like global leaders in what they do that we've been part of for the last 20 plus years, right? So we really are a global development company that empower potential. And
Yeah.
so on any given day, we could be coaching, we could be teaching, we could be consulting. It really depends on the human being in front of us. But at the end of the day, it's coaching for us. We're somewhere in the world, inspiring, empowering someone to live their potential.
Scotty, hands down, and I'm going to say this now because I have the forum. You are the best educator I have ever seen, and I've done a lot of education,
Wow.
a lot of trainings. You do so much for so many people, and I think many people would say the same thing about you. You really have a passion for this. This is what you do well, huh?
What, are you trying to make me cry at breakfast? I've got emotions these days. Don't do that to me. Thank you, mate. That's really lovely. Actually,
It's
that
what you
means a
do.
lot.
It's what
Thank
you
you.
do. So, Scotty, over the last 12 months, you've been setting up Pivotal, for the last couple of years, but over the last 12 months, I mean, give me a list of some of the countries and educations and trainings you've been doing, just so we can share them.
Okay, China.
Yep.
Over 17 times.
17 times.
That's
Yep.
a lot of China. That's a lot of planes. Japan, Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, Chile, Brazil, UK, Egypt, Cairo. Wow, that one blew me away.
Yes, you did too.
Portugal. The list is endless, and most of them are multiple times. So we're looking at like 200,000 miles a year.
So this is the last 12 months as well. So this company, and just for you guys out there, this is a company that Scott Hopson and Haley Holland, who is also his partner, have set up together as an education company and a coaching company. And this is their own. They're going out there and they have hustled and well done. You guys have put in the groundwork.
Yeah, thank you again. It's interesting though, right? It's like that 25-year overnight success story. It's like we were talking about this earlier, that honestly, I'm so blessed I get to work with Gary Gray and Grey Institute, Mark Verstegen and Exos, the PTAG founders, PowerPlate, Precore, boom, the list is endless, but they're 20-year relationships that I've been cultivating without the intention of it leading to anything financially. They're just like people that changed my life, or they're people that I needed to be around because they were geniuses and I wanted to suck everything I could out of their brains. But you develop meaningful, significant relationships. And then, 20 years later,
Doors open.
Doors open and you're collaborating as a team. And people say, well, how did you do that? And it's like, well, that's a 25-year story. There's no soundbite. Yeah. And that's just relentless effort and a commitment to a cause bigger than yourself. That's really what it was, a commitment to a cause bigger than yourself, surrounding yourself with the conditions you intend to manifest, i.e. people better than you, more successful than you, changing the world. Surround yourself with it, and the magic happens, right?
I love that. And Scotty, you've had a lot of lessons along the way as well. I mean, we all have, but, so
Mm.
this just wasn't success after success after success, was it? You know, you've got some stories, you don't need to go into them, but, and that's one of the things I love about you. You take those and then you grow on them and you develop and you flourish.
Thank you, mate. I'm more like a bouncy ball, which means like the fall is much longer. The fall was always longer than the rebound, And then
I
people
love
see
that.
me bouncing. I'm like, you didn't see the fall, man. That was a really long. I only bounced so high because I fell so far. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it. So a couple of questions for you, Scotty, is, what hats do you wear at the moment?
Yeah. Well, obviously, professionally, no, I'm not going to say that. Life.
Right.
I'm a dad. The two loves of my life, Isabel and Eli, they're just mind blowing to me. I'm a partner to my Queen Haley, both in life and in work. I'm a coach. I'm an educator, consultant. But actually, the thing that drives me more than anything these days is being of service, right? And so to give back to others what was given to me, especially at times of need. So volunteering in my community, whether it's coaching soccer, coaching rugby, whether it's high school, whether it's club, sponsoring other guys that are going through the stuff that I had to go through, mentoring individuals in our industry that can't afford what I would normally charge. So they get me for free.
Yeah.
So for me, it's coaching, being of service, whether it's personally or professionally, is kind of my gig.
That's what this is all about. These little webinars that I'm doing. It's about highlighting, the coaches, instructors, and fitness leaders out there that they give. They all have something in common. We like to give. We ask. This. If you ask coaches and instructors, why did you get into this industry? 99% of the time, they say because they want to help people. It's not about the money. You and I know that. It's not about the money. It's, this is a tough job. It's early in the mornings. It's late at night when you're starting out as a coach or an instructor. It's pretty tough to turn this into a full-time job, which, obviously we want to change. I'm passionate about changing that.
Yes.
But, it's this feeling of giving back.
Yeah, for sure, mate. And it's interesting, right? On the one hand, it's easy for us to say when you've got money to say it's not about the money. But the reality is we know there were more years we couldn't pay the bills. There were more years we didn't have the resources than we did.
Yeah.
And so then once you get into a position where you can take a breath and you're not worrying about every bill that comes through the door. And for me, that was like I've been working since I was 15, right? I left school at 15. So 30 years later, I can take a breath and say, I got a bit of time and money to maybe give back today.
Yeah.
But people didn't see for 27 years, you didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
The biggest problem, the biggest thing for me is, but when you, even in that struggling time, what's the one next thing you could do today to maybe make the world around you a little better than you found it? Just one thing today. It doesn't have to be a magnanimous show of grandiosity. It could just be, did you demonstrate kindness today when you were stressed out? You know what I mean?
And kindness has a ripple effect as well. You and I have spoken about this before. Something very special happens, when it's not when you're giving an act of kindness. Yes, it does, but it's when people see that act of kindness, something happens.
Big time. And I always quote that research when we're teaching together, me and you, is the person giving it gets a boost in hormones and endorphins. The person receiving it gets even more, but the observer of the act gets the biggest increase in happy hormones. Yes. There's something powerful about when you're doing something, just assume someone somewhere is seeing it. You're making the world a better place just by the demonstration of it.
Yeah.
Whether you know it or not, someone's day got better because they saw you do something good, whether you know it or not. And if you can anchor to that, I mean, coaching's a rough gig, but I could tell you teaching is too. When you get up and you're on a plane for 15 to 25 hours and you get off no sleep and you've got to teach and you miss your kids and you're eating crappy food on the road and you've got to be on because people have paid a lot of money and they want you to be on. It's hard work. All of us are doing hard work.
Yeah, I get that for sure. One of the things, that I love about you, Scotty. So Scotty also coaches a few clients each week at our Midtown Athletic Club in Chicago. He's there. He's part of the family, and he's got a rich history with Midtown. He was the national fitness director as well, and then the national education manager. So we've worked together a long time. It's been great. But he coaches there, and he acts as a mentor to coaches that are there and many of the members, and you walk around, and it's just reassuring for the coaches and people to see your face there. You know, I love that.
I love it. I love it, mate. I can't wait for the doors to reopen because I do miss our teammates. I mean, that's another big part of my why is team. You know, like you can't really do anything alone. I tried, didn't work out too good. Team is it. And so when you walk in, I'm not Scott, the educator or whatever. I'm teammate, and I got the same name. I got a name badge and the same Midtown logo, and they're our members. And I see you there, and I see Haley there, and I see our teammates there. And it's kind of cool that after all this time, I've still got a team that I get to coach with. You know, I love that.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's a good segue into I want to ask you, and actually, I'm super interested. You know, Scotty, what is your why? You know, what is it? You know, what's your deep passion, your why?
It's shifted, right? I've come to the realization in my life at this stage that we all exist at different levels of experience and understanding. And so that means that my why has shifted. Today is very straightforward: to live my purpose. I wake up every day and I have to fulfill my purpose. Now, some days that means my kids need dad to be a better dad today. Some days Haley needs a better partner today. Some days I got to be a rock star at a conference. Some days I'm coaching kids for free on the rainy lakefront for soccer. But the point is, in that moment, can I be present enough to fulfill my purpose? And so I'm very driven by that these days. So I'd like to say it was some, you know, algorithm around coaching or whatever. It's not. It's this life for me is not a dress rehearsal anymore.
Yeah.
I got one shot to fulfill my potential. Because if I don't, you can't offer what you don't have to give. How can I empower people to feel potential as a coach, as a teacher, if I myself don't live that truth?
Yeah.
You know, because that's empathy, right? Is when someone says, I'm having a crappy day today, you say, I understand. I feel that. That was me yesterday. So what was my purpose today? And did I fulfill it? And it changes. I'm kind of done with like to-do lists, not because they're not important, but my purpose. I don't know about you. I write the script for myself every day, and invariably it gets changed. Life changes the script, right?
Yeah.
I got to fulfill my purpose on this earth. I want to know my life mattered. It's that simple.
I love that, Scotty. And what drives you? You know, I mean, that's your purpose. What drives you to do this every day? Because you are a hustler. I mean, talk us through your early morning routine as well.
I'm usually up by 4:35.
Yeah.
If I haven't, sometimes earlier. Sleep has always been an oxymoron for me.
Yeah.
And then I get up and I do my prayer and meditation work. I set my intention for the day. But then by 6:30, the dogs are up, if not 6. And then you're taking the dogs for a walk, and then you've got to feed them, play with them. Then the kids are up. Got to make sure that their school lunches are ready. Drop my daughter to school in one part of the city, and then my son to school in another part of the city. Now it's like nearly 9 o'clock by the time I get to Midtown, coach a couple of clients, whatever it is. Then I got to work on my business and or teach and or consult. But then obviously, and on it goes. And then I got programs of recovery where I'm a sponsor and etc. I do service work. My point is, by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I've done a 12-hour day. But now I've got clients in different countries that might need my attention at different time zones. And on and on and on it goes. And then you've got dinners and soccer. And so for me, if I don't take those first 2 hours of the day, sometimes even just half an hour, to set my intention and do the one next thing, the one next right thing for myself, then I'm free to give the world whatever it needs. But if I don't do that one next right thing for myself, then it's kind of a moot point, because I can't give what I don't have to offer, you know what I mean? And then I go insane.
That's incredible, bud. I mean, you're such a driven and passionate, you know, character. Scotty, give me some of the highlights in your 20 plus years. Some of the
man, that is like, well, the obvious one would be PTA Global. I mean, I never dreamed in a million years that legends of the industry would all come together for one purpose, and I would be put on the bus. I just didn't. I was like the kid just at tryouts. I was like, am I going to make the team? And lo and behold, I not only made the team, I became a co-founder. And that was, and then that led to, and I'm not just saying it because you're on the phone, meeting some of the people who had the biggest impact and influence on me, which is you, which is John Brady, which is, there's some people that, honestly, if today was my last day and someone said, list the 10 people in this industry that mean the most, you're on that list, mate.
I appreciate it.
That those few years of PTA Global was truly magical. I mean, we were all in our own time, our own money. If we didn't catch something, we didn't eat. So that for me was a highlight. Then there's I would say coaching, the volunteer stuff I did with soccer for my son's teams, my daughter's teams. You know, started at U8s and went through to U16s. I mean, you're talking about kids that you see go from at your knee to being taller than you as teenagers. And it's not until they're gone and you really see the change that you've created in each other's lives. I mean, that's mind blowing. You know, I miss them. I really, really miss coaching them because they've gone off to high school or whatever it is now. You know, those years are done. Do you know what I mean? And there's 1,000 really significant ones, especially like people that I've met, people that legends in the industry that I've had the privilege to sit down with and get to know personally. I mean, it's a long list. I'm like, how did that happen to me? You know? So yeah, there's
the top education companies out there. You know, by the way, PTA Global changed the face of personal training education. It really did. What they did with behavioral change and movement and emotion, it was game changing. It really was.
And community, actually doing what you said, like bringing people together and not. Yeah, it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
I agree. And these companies that you've worked with, Exos and the Gray Institute, you know, and Power Plate, you know, these guys in Precor, you know, these guys are big companies and game changers, and you're their top educator. In fact, you wrote the education for a lot of these companies, you know?
Yeah, it's very humbling. I mean, and I don't mean that in a soundbite way. I mean, it's good in life to get right-sized sometimes, you know what I mean? And to be around people that are that good at what they do is very right-sizing. It gives you good perspective, you know? Yeah, there's been a lot of highlights, mate. Way too many.
One thing you talked about youth and youth programming, and I just want to touch on this. I wasn't going to, but I might as well touch on this because I know you've got, you know, you're coming out with a youth programming education course at the moment, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yes, mate. That's the one that I want to change the world with. I'm going to be really honest. I've done a lot of. I've been lucky to be part of some incredible pioneering things in fitness, performance, you know, you name it. But here's a couple of statistics. Number one, first generation of youth that are going to die younger than their parents. We're going to live longer and sicker, and they're going to die younger with adult diseases. That's not okay with me. Yeah. We have I'll give you an idea in sport, just sport, although it's way bigger than sport. We have 3.5 million coaches in the US alone for youth sport. But 3 million are volunteers with no educational training. It's the dad that wants to give back. It's the school teacher. It's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
But did you know we have over 3.5 million medical injuries a year in our youth under the age of 12? 2.6 million are ER visits. Now check this. 75% are non-contact and in practice. They're not coming in competition. My point is, kids around the world are engaging in sport, but by age 13, they nearly all drop out because they're getting busted up, they're getting poor coaching, and then there's other things like conflict with education and school and whatever. I think it's time that we empowered all of those volunteer coaches around the world, the school teachers, the parents, the ones who care enough to coach our kids but have no education. So our youth program, if the universe conspires with me, is to potentially impact millions of lives in every country, every culture. Anyone who cares enough to work with kids, how can you coach sport without coaching movement? How? How can you coach any sport without coaching movement? I would love to be part of a mission that empowered the people that give back to our kids. And it's not the personal trainer. It's not the strength conditioning coach. They're not on the lakefront on a Thursday night when it's raining, coaching kids for free. I love them, but I don't see them. I see my neighbor. So the idea that only the professionals can coach movement is ridiculous. You can't coach martial arts or baseball or swimming without coaching movement. Wouldn't it be good if someone helped them to do it right? So we're coming up with a very big vision, a very big advisory board, and we want to take it global by the end of this year. We're pumped. And we want it in every school, every church, every health club, every pickup league, every little kickers, every little league. We want it everywhere.
So people listening to this around the world, take note. I think this is one of the most exciting things I've heard in a long time. You know, youth programming, but taking a different approach for the right reasons. And I'm super excited to watch this space. This is happening this year, Scotty, right?
Yeah, as soon as I can get out of my cabin fever and film something, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Hey, Scotty, I appreciate you on so many levels as a friend, as a colleague. You know, you're the sort of guy that we discuss things and we talk. You know, we've had some good discussions at times, and we always come
Yeah,
out the
yeah.
other end, but we're always aligned, and I love that. You know, we're just so passionate about what we do. So, um, I just want to say thank you on so many levels for all you've done for me and for so many people, Scotty. I really mean that. I really
Thanks,
do.
man. It really does feel very good to hear that. And, I feel the same way, mate. And I
Yeah.
can't believe it's only been 10 years. When you look at everything we've done together, it has it only in 10 years. That feels like an entire lifetime,
The
doesn't it?
synchronicity of it all is really, it's quite funny. We're in Germany and Italy and Belgium and then Montreal and now here in Chicago, and it is what it is.
And you and I swap hats. Like
Yeah,
we
we did.
literally,
Swapped hats in
I
different
love
roles.
it. It's
And I love
brilliant.
that. And look at the relationship we've got. So I think that's really cool. There's just a great respect. So, Scotty, I appreciate you, buddy, for all you do. Okay, man.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having
Yes,
me.
cool. Cheers.
See you, bud.